Hi, my name is Sophia, and today I'll be talking about the different types of learning styles. I'm currently studying nursing, and this will hopefully lead myself to achieve my goal of becoming a cosmetic nurse. While I'm studying, I'm working at Coles, and I've been there for 2 years. By achieving this goal, I will continue to dedicate myself to my studies by putting in hard work. What I'll be introducing, I'll be identifying 4 styles that exist in today's society, how they assist and help our learning, how we can interpret them into our learning environment, what is multimodal, and lastly, I will be discussing what my favorite learning style is. Visual learning. Visual learning is a type of learning style in which students prefer to use images, graphics, colors, and maps to communicate ideas and thoughts. Visual learners must see information to learn it. These learners are likely to have a photographic memory and may use color, tone, and brightness to recall information. In class, visual learners will benefit from seeing diagrams drawn out, for example, on a chalkboard and in slideshows. Visual learners refers to a mode of learning where students rely on graphic aids to remember and learn material. Visual learners can easily visualize objects, have a great sense of balance and alignment, are very color orientated, and can effortlessly envision imagery. Visual learners learn best by color coding their notes, making to-do lists, and using concept maps to organize their thoughts. The way people retain this type of learning is through graphs, pictures, videos, and diagrams. Visual learners in the classroom. The teachers can demonstrate the task, that way it is more helpful for the students to understand. Graphs on whiteboards, handing out worksheets. Showing graphs of examples of the work. This then helps the students get a better understanding throughout the lesson. This is also relevant data that is continuing to get more common as students prefer visual learning. The second learning style I'll be talking about is auditorial learning. Auditorial learning means that a student learns most effectively by listening. They would prefer listening to a lecture over reading the textbook or hearing the instructions for a project instead of figuring out hands-on. This then, for example, a visual learner will want to see an example of the project, while someone who has an auditorial focus will prefer to hear about the project. Students who prefer auditorial learning over visual will be focused on listening instead of seeing, reading, or physically trying to learn. Auditorial learners like to hear things to process information best, which is often a good option for classroom learning. This type of learning style is used to retain listening through information, whether that information is listening to podcasts, videos, group discussions, lectures, or audio books. Auditorial learning in the classroom. Students rather the teacher talk than having to read off paper or a book. They would like to access videos or podcasts for homework or assignments. When someone is an auditory learner, they can understand the information by accessing these things. They also prefer verbal instructions rather than reading off something. Third learning style, reading and writing. This third style of learning, reading and writing, is for someone who prefers to learn information by reading notes, handouts, or textbooks. These type of learners can also have access to dictionaries, which is another reference on materials. This will also benefit them by being able to rewrite notes and reread summaries or content. Some people prefer to read and write rather than visually have it explained to them. They absorb the information better through having to access to reading information down. This also helps them process what they need to learn and know. Taking notes or reading books in the tutorials help people with this preferred learning style. The last learning style I'll be talking about is kinesthetic learning. What is kinesthetic learning? Kinesthetic learners retain information by doing rather than seeing or listening. They like to engage in some physical activity during learning. That's when you expect the best learning outcome. It is also hands-on learning, quick and on the go, always wanting to be involved. This learning style is also seen through experiments, physical learning, being able to do it by themselves, and achieving an accomplishment. They also like to adapt in the classroom by making time for hands-on tasks. frequent breaks, and resting time. Multimodal learner. What is a multimodal learner? It is a teaching style that is demonstrated through visual, auditorial, reading and writing, and kinesthetic methods. This is the type of learning where it is a method that students have multiple methods of how they like to learn. By learning all these methods, it is supposed to improve the quality of teaching by matching content delivery within the best form of learning for the student. My personal favorite learning style is visual learning. Why? The reason why I prefer visual learning is I find it hard to understand content when it is not visually demonstrated to me. I also can't concentrate for long periods of time when I'm left alone and having to read large paragraphs of content when I have no understanding of the work. What I enjoy learning this as it is less stress for myself and I don't have to understand or work things out by myself. This helps me relax more as I have the ability to ask questions and have it demonstrated or shown to me in person. How it benefits me. I benefit this by succeeding through class tutorials where I have the ability to ask questions and raise my concerns. It's also less stress, I concentrate easily, and I'm able to ask questions. How do these affect our learning positively? Research shows that when learning, it helps the students engage into tutorials or online classes and gives them a higher level of education. It's also seen through higher class engagement, better educational solutions, and individual support. Thanks for listening.